Voices carry journeys from quiet homes to crowded streets. Worlds unfolding in a conversation, an educational podcast, a circle of minds learning from each other. Aphamazwi ethathibana khona aphivelaphi zethu zibalisa amabali indawo yokwabelana ngezimvo ngehlabathi. Asifaya podcast imikhali ikhuzulwa ngubahle sive ngicela umfo wasemamfeleni olisa ohlathi ojambase imfene zimabutho ahlutana ukuthola kwelanga. Asifaya podcast.
Everybody, welcome to the new show. Thank you so much for joining us today. And please don't forget to subscribe and to follow us on different platforms, TikTok, Facebook, and Spotify, as via across all of them. And today I have a special guest, Sis Thembi. Welcome to the show, Sis Thembi.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And of course, we are not alone here. We have Umakhaveli. Speech Umakhaveli.
Danko.
How are you doing, my brother?
I'm good. How are you doing, my brother?
Well, I'm well. I'm super excited with this conversation we're going to have here. And the conversation we also had, previous 2 days, been quite interesting. But today we're talking health. Today we're talking life stories. So we're going to be inspired. If you are watching here, please make sure that you share this conversation as well.
And most importantly, entrepreneurship.
Entrepreneurship, yes, for sure. System, before someone who just clicked this video because they saw the title of this video or the thumbnail, what would be the title of your story?
My title of my story, I think, should be Rising Like a Phoenix.
Rising Like a Phoenix.
Yes.
Why? Tell me more about that title.
I like the phoenix. If you look at the story of the phoenix, it's a bird, that die completely to ashes, then it rise even stronger.
Do we see a lot of the of those signs of a phoenix in your life? And take me back when the moment when you are facing death, and maybe you, of course, maybe you didn't think it was over, but take me through the horrible extent of you thinking that this is over or maybe there's no hope. Yeah, take me back through that. What was happening? Okay,
firstly, as I was born in a disadvantaged background, raised by Umakhulu, my grandmother. My mother, my sister, my mother died 2000. My sister followed 2001. And my dad already passed in 1998. So now I was just me and my grandmother. My grandmother was just like everything to me. And yeah, she was a very strong lady. I got that like his back. So I'm raised by this strong lady that is uneducated because her father thought going to school it's invalid. But then she loved education. She would wake me up at 5 o'clock because I used to walk about how many hours? We used to leave around 6, and we get to school around 8. Yeah, walking. And not just ustrola fela. Like you are walking. Sometimes we no shumpu, the thing. And running. We have teams, So it would take about 2 hours to get to school. We walk through the mountain of KZN and we get to school eventually. Amazolo, I don't know what's Amazolo in English, but it's like when the grass is high and in the morning, like there's those droplets around the grass. By the time you get to school, yes.
Is it dew or mist? You are wet?
Yeah. By the time you get to school, your skirt is wet. Because you've been walking through that grass, Then unfortunately my grandmother passed away when it was December 2009.
And how old are you at this time?
At this time, I'm 16.
What grade?
I just got my report from school. I'm going to do my grade 12. Ne? My grandmother would always say, if I can die, usuqedile isikole. Yeah. And my grandmother, can I talk about my grandmother?
Yes, please.
Yes. My grandmother was uneducated, but whenever I come back from school, she would take my report, ne? I base pants upside down. She said, well done. She said, well done. And I can see that Marakoko, like, your report, it's upside down. Then she would slaughter a chicken for me. I come from a rural area, guys. So these are the rituals. So if you progress to the next grade, your parents or your grandmother will slaughter a chicken for you. And remember, the chicken was the luxury. Ne? We used to eat chicken once a month. When grandmother gets her pension pay. Just throughout the month, cabbage, amabhontshisi, amasi, there used to be cow, ekaya. So, yeah.
I'm curious to also understand, like when your sister, mom, and of course your dad, they are all gone. What's the theme of your childhood? What do you say to yourself? Do you take this as a punishment? Because other people, some things like that, they happen and they start being, resentful to God. Guti, why would you take everyone that I care or supposed to care of me? What was your theme or your message as a child?
As a child, my grandmother plays a huge role for me not to pay too much attention on that, because she was like everything. She became my mom, my dad, my everything. Yes, it was like a rural area. We didn't have much, but I have everything that I needed. I had uniform, I had food when I come back from school. So my prayer at the time was like, I hope by the time my grandmother passed away, I'm far in life. And school became everything. So studying all the time, because I knew my grandmother was like 98 at the time, 98 years old. Yeah. So I knew she's going to go anytime soon. And while she's still here, I must use that time.
Yeah. And today, I take it now you are like going back to the phonics, trait or character.
Yes.
Now, like, this is a new life. You're now a nurse and all of that. What I'm curious to hear, like, when you think about her, what do you hope maybe happens in her mind wherever she is, or what do you hope that
I hope I don't cry. I know she's very proud. She's very proud, and in Minake, I'm a Black person, and I also believe like the people that passed on, they look down on us.
You acknowledge,
yes, they acknowledge us. So I get nice dreams with her.
Beautiful.
So I know she's looking and she's smiling. She's like, well done. Because after she passed, it was horrible. That's where my trauma started. Passing of my grandmother, it made me now realize that, you know what, you are on your own. Because I remember we funeral yake and everyone left. It goes back to something I said to you before we started the show. I'm coming from a very toxic family.
So everyone left upon the completion of the burial.
Yes. My grandmother was buried. What would have been after tears now, that's when people, I have Omamkulu. I have my uncle. But then everyone just take their bags and they left. There was, like in normal families, there will be like that one meeting where like they sit down and say, okay, Lomtwana beshala nomakhulu. So now what?
So
yes, that was not the case with me. Everyone just take their bags and left, and I was left alone.
You didn't have any siblings, no?
My sister passed away 2001, remember?
So it was only your sister. You didn't have your cousin or Mzala.
No.
So you were left alone in the house
in a house in a rural area.
and you were doing matric.
Not yet. It's December.
Okay.
It's December 27.
But you are
Yeah.
pushing to do matric.
Oh yes, the burial was the 3rd,
Mm.
2010. 3rd January 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm about to start my extra classes
Mhm.
because we used to start around the 10
Yeah.
before the schools open.
Early,
Actually,
yeah.
yes.
I have more questions. I don't know if you want to jump in now or we should just.
Yeah, you carry on, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. You're far too kind. So how do you? I remember when I was gonna go to matric myself.
Mhm.
I was excited about the uniform. I was excited about
Yeah.
and
Yay.
for you, like, how does that play out? Knowing
yeah.
exactly you're by yourself, and matric uniform can be expensive. Eh?
Yeah, funny enough, I adjust very quickly. I didn't have a matric dance. I didn't go to matric dance.
But the school had one.
The school had one.
Mm.
But at that time I was studying with my friend Ulungi. So yeah.
Hello, Lungi.
yeah. So yeah. For me now was like very hard because now I had to I stayed alone in that rural area for some time.
Mm.
One night I almost got raped. That's when everything turned upside down because for some reason, my malumekazi wami, I used to get that grant. There's a grant that orphans get.
For foster
Yeah.
care.
Foster care, yeah,
foster care
something like
grant,
that.
yeah.
I'm not sure what it's called. So I had that, but umalumekazi wami was the one that, because my grandmother was old and frail, she couldn't go up and down social worker and
Mhm.
stuff. So now everyone left. At night, people came in. So if you see the structure of a rural area, it's not like one big room.
Oh yeah.
There's a kitchen there, there's a rondeville here, there's a kamer there, uncle's what, my mom's room's there. So I can hear the people in the yard talking, and it's men.
Mm.
So I'm sleeping in the rondeville alone.
Mm.
Ne? I could see them with the pangas going from room to room to room. The kitchen was just up here, and the rondeville is here where I'm sitting. When they went that side, I opened the bottom door. If you know the rural area, there's a bottom door. I went out very slightly and I slept with the cows. Ismail. That's how I got, I escaped this incident. Because when they went there, they even said, Ingubu ziyashisa, she must be here.
Sure.
Yeah.
They went that far to just even feel the blankets.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm sleeping in the cow kraal until the morning with this small skirt. It used to have prints here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Says a lot about your age. Yeah.
Yes. I'm very old.
Usifumana
Sesibayeni, I'm sleeping with the cows and I'm hiding behind the cows. And funny enough, like in Gomo, they would when something happens, they would stand up.
Yeah.
But at that point, they didn't for some reason. So I hid behind them. Then I slept there.
And
I
that's how
didn't
you
sleep. I
survived.
was just hoping, who succeed, then I'm out of this
Yeah,
terror.
traumatized.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. During those dark times, what kept you going? What
God.
kept?
God. Ugogo wami, she was a believer. Yo, ibithandaza le ntokazi. Yeah, she would, even when there's nothing in the house, she would just pray. And the kaya benginecawe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you still remember one of maybe? I know my grandma, when she prayed, we used to be there and we'd hear her praying. Do you still remember maybe one of the prayers that she did? in your
Yo,
presence.
ugogo yo, she was a imbogodo. Mgangathi wendlela ezibheke ezulu. Laba bantu bebethethisa uThixo. Mgangathi.
While closing your eyes praying, you would feel like this guy has no choice but to answer this prayer.
So I was raised by someone who prays like that, and izulu balina liduma. So like izulu alisadumi man.
Yeah. Actually.
Yo,
I think
now
it's
I'm
because maybe you are
coming.
in the city.
Yes, I'm coming from the rural area, man. Izulu lakho is it goes like that. Where now you be praying, my grandmother would say, wake up. Whether it's 2:00 in the morning, you wake up and pray. You pray until izulu lina. You understand? Yeah.
I love your story. I love your story so much.
Yeah.
May Coco's soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
Your mom, your dad, and your sister.
Yeah.
May they
Thank you.
continue resting in peace and continue being the angels that they are guiding and protecting.
Yeah.
Let's keep their spirit alive and and those stories. Some of us grew up without Abokoko, so stories like that.
Yeah. Shame.
You missed out,
Yeah.
my
I
boy,
can't
eh?
relate.
But we are sorry for you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Let's fast forward now. Our sister Thembi. Ngubani sister Thembi manje?
Manje.
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Nogwethemba, ne?
Mhm.
Nogwethemba Masobe. I'm married, ne? Uthembi, she's a nurspreneur, ne? Now she's a nurspreneur.
Yeah.
She just recently opened her own company. I'm having my own practice. It's called Hope Primary Healthcare Clinic. It's at Universitas 10 Strauss Street. Uthembi, she's a very ambitious lady. I'll call myself also a serial entrepreneur.
Sure.
Yeah, because I sell hair, I sell perfumes. I also started my practice, you know. So yeah, Thembi, she's been through some stuff, but now I refuse to give up, guys.
Yeah. Okay. You said you're a professional nurse.
Yes.
Okay. What is a professional nurse for someone out there who's interested in being a nurse? Because us or me as a layman, when I went to the hospital, I just see nurses, but
Nurses,
what's the hierarchy there? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There is definitely a hierarchy. We're starting with I'm not gonna leave the care workers. And the care workers is those if I'm not mistaken, they do about 6 months in college just to learn about bed baths and just to help someone who's sick, basically.
Okay.
Ne? Then we have our ENAs. Our ENAs is like enrolled nursing, auxiliary nursing. Ne?
Okay.
Nurses, yes. And those ones, they can do your BP, they can check your heart, what we call is an ECG, but they cannot interpret it because they do about a year in college.
Okay.
And then we have our ENs, enrolled nurses. These nurses now are the ones that can do some, what can I call it?
Some procedures.
Some procedures, but they cannot.
But they are limited.
They are limited.
Okay.
Yeah. I was looking for a word. They can do some procedures, such as giving oral medication like Panadol, but they cannot do the drips. They cannot inject.
Okay.
Yeah. They must work under supervision of a professional nurse.
Direct supervision.
Yes, direct supervision of a professional nurse. Then there's a professional nurse. It's someone who did a 4-year course like you go for like a 4-year course in varsity, and it's very important that we differentiate between the professional nurses because not all of them are the same. We have the registered nurses, then we have the ones that did midwifery and community, the bars. That's
Okay.
way. There are other ones that don't have bars. Okay, unfortunately, sorry guys, my bars, the colors are gone.
Yeah. That
Hard work.
says a lot about
It's
the
hard work.
hard work.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
But if you specialize, if you studied at varsity,
Yeah.
or I know EFSON, varsity and EFSON, we graduate with midwifery
Mhm.
and community service with psychiatry. So we specialized with people who are dealing with mental health. We
Mhm.
specialize with ra kgona ho pepisa,
Mhm.
ne? We can also work in a community, in a clinic where like a sister can prescribe medication for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have more question on that, Makaveli?
Yeah. What's this a beef? I would call it a beef for lack of a better word amongst within your industry on nurses, because I believe those there are nurses who went to universities and there are nurses who went to colleges.
College, yes.
What's this beef all about? With my understanding, you said 4 years in varsity
Mhm.
theory, and
Mhm.
then community service 2 years.
No, we juggle both. Ne? Now I studied at the University of Free State.
Mhm.
But first, just a disclaimer, whatever that I'm saying here is my own views, not for Department of Health or my employer. Ne?
Okay.
So there was a beef, guys, that was happening when we were student between the university and the college student.
Okay.
But it was about, they thought we are better. At the same time,
Oh.
they maybe for them they knew a lot of practical because they had blocks, so they would do maybe like 3 months practical and 3 months back at theory.
Theory.
Whereas at
Oh.
yours, like Monday you are in class back and forth. On Friday you are at the practice.
Okay.
Yeah. So they had a lot of time to master and to grasp everything. So there was always that beef. And now that we are graduated, I think most of us, we are united, but there's that thing, like when you graduated from the university, we graduate with the honors degree because we do a research.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So whereas if you studied at the college, then you are graduating with I think it's diploma. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But
So
the syllabus is it's just the structure of the
it's
syllabus.
the structure of the syllabus.
Oh.
You just cut an episode.
Okay. The same with with the education system. Yeah, there's colleges, and then there's technicons, and then universities.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's those myths. Those went to university. Maybe.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, when you studied at the college, then before you do your masters, then you must do your honors. Whereas I studied at the university, I go straight to my masters. Yeah. So yeah,
it's just the difference in the way the syllabus is being enrolled. Otherwise, you're doing the same thing. At the end of the day, we end up with the same qualification.
We end up with the same
titles.
Yes.
Okay.
Then there's bars that limits professional nurses, other professional nurses, to do certain things like catching babies.
Okay.
There are nurses that graduate with only this, I'll call it the carpet, that red carpet, with no bars.
Okay.
So those ones are not specialized in midwifery.
Mm-hmm.
So it means they cannot catch babies.
Okay.
Their scope of practice doesn't allow them to catch babies.
Okay.
They cannot specialize in psychiatry, like working with mental health. Yes.
Okay.
And which one do you, now that you are at this level, and of course you have the knowledge of, like, when you retrospect, which one would you recommend to someone that's doing matric right now and they look forward to be maybe a professional nurse or a nurse? Which one would you recommend based on its advantages and disadvantages or benefits? go through varsity or college?
Anyway, it's fine. For me, because I grew, I come from the disadvantaged background, I would have loved to go to college because they get a stipend.
Oh, yeah.
They get a stipend. So if you're coming from a disadvantaged background, college, because at the end of the day, we are all professional nurses, to be honest, and we are doing great job out there, you know.
Yeah.
But varsity is tough. It's tough because now, luckily, what we fought for is actually being established. During my time, there was no transport provided for nursing students. So it means like with the NSFAS money that I was having, I used to now take out the transport money to go to Pilonomi from the university to Pilonomi. Or I walk downtown. I used to walk anyway. So I told you I walk 2 hours. So I was still walking even in university.
I see. You got used to it.
Yeah.
Look, I want to take you back. When all those things that happened to you that were so unkind, life being tough, how did you? Well, let me first start here. Do you think you grew anger as an individual, maybe because of those situations? And maybe later you had to deal with that. Did you get any angry after maybe the passing of your grandma? And
yeah, I was a very withdrawn, you know. Baby, ikonzi in Zulu, it means like kuzothi kumnandi nje uvesane uyithulele.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I did have a certain degree of depression, of which depression, our black people, they don't understand it. So they used to call me Wutinekons. Ne? In real truth is that I was having a depression, you know? And people, they would just say, oh, Kalili, you know? They dismiss you like that. Oh, yeah.
Can we go a little bit deeper on that so that maybe someone who truly have ikonzi cannot confuse themselves with someone that has depression? What were other signs? So now that you know, what are other signs of depression that one would actually, if they are not yet diagnosed, they can actually see that maybe I have depression because of this 1, 2, 3 signs.
You know, like depression manifests in different ways, but 1 or 3 of them, you'll be not interested to do anything. You don't want to eat. You don't want food.
Yeah.
And anger, the outburst, it can be a sign of depression. So what is
Number 1, I don't like to eat. I don't like to eat.
So I'm an eater. I eat a lot, despite the fact that I look like I eat.
Sure.
So yeah, they don't feel hungry. They lose appetite.
Yeah.
You will not be interested to even go out. You sleep all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, even when people are having fun, you just want to sit there and mind your own business. Mina, I used to even cry. So I kind of even said, I when I'm twice when it means like melengi be sangoma because petwa madlos, guys. Maybe
you were depressed.
I was depressed. When I'm talking about madlos. Imagine if I listened to them, then I went for an initiation school or something. I could have been a sangoma.
Unless I want to differently.
Yeah.
I love that because I know like there are many people that would be going through your old shoes right now. So when they hear all these things, they can actually heal or recover. And on the thing of trauma, how do you then work around yourself to be able to coexist with someone else in the relationship? Since you are married, what I think one of the things that would make people not to be married is that is them not being able to deal with their trauma or their, someone can call it demons in the midst of someone else.
Mm.
Like they constantly need their space.
Mm.
They constantly want things to go their own way, maybe because they never had them like that before.
Mhm.
You understand? So
Mm.
how did you reproduce yourself, or maybe recultivate
Learn to live with
to
people.
live with someone else?
Mm.
Yeah.
It's a long process. Funny enough, I was having those signs of trauma and depression, but for me, depression actually started when I had everything.
Hmm.
Anene.
Interesting.
Because by the time I realized I suffer from depression, is that I already had bought my car. I'm already working as a nurse. That's when the time when I have to say, oh, well done. Then everything now, the grief started. My grief started after. I didn't have time to grieve, even my grandmother, because most of us, we are coming from families whereby, like, when you complain about something or you miss your parents,
Yeah.
I mean, like, you miss your parents, natural to miss your parents. But bazothi hawu ufunani sinikeza ukudla nokudla ukhalelani, you are being ungrateful, you are being labeled as an ungrateful child, So I've never had time to grieve any of my losses, because again I had to keep going. The aim was to get where I am, being a professional nurse, be able to do things for myself, So, and coming from the family, our Black families, they don't understand. Sometimes as orphans, we are being labeled as ungrateful, simply because maybe you're just gonna cry nje spacini, then bazukhalelani nokudla, unayo yonke into, we are deaf. You understand? So izinto ezinjalo, like, they end up making you not grieve. So my grief started after I have everything. So to answer your question, how do I now maneuver and try to live with, like, my now husband? My husband understands that sometimes I just wanna be alone, even my kids, and the trauma, it went as far as not wanting to have kids, seeing my parents die the way they died. I'm always scared that I might wake up tomorrow and I'm dead, and my kids, they have to go through what I went through.
Oh yeah.
You understand? So that's how far the trauma goes. I'm still going through intense therapy, because at the end of the day, I love kids. I love kids. Yeah, they're such a beautiful thing. And my husband, he also understands. They know when, like, Mama needs a timeout. I put them on timeout, so they know what timeout is.
Yeah.
So when I say Mama needs timeout, then the older one will tell, Mama needs a timeout. Then they go and sit in the dining room. It's not like I'm angry. My husband, it took him quite some time to understand that my wife is like that. It's not, like men, you start searching yourself like, she's angry, So it took him a long time to actually understand me. Yeah.
What you did, what I think you did so excellent is actually to create those structures around your life, because I personally have struggled with that before. And sometimes I do struggle with it in a relationship. When you need space and someone will ask you, what's wrong? What did I do? Maybe they try to heal you, or they try to make you feel better in that moment, not knowing. And my emphasis will be like, there's nothing you can do when I'm feeling like this. Only myself can actually, bring back the version that you are happy to live with. So sometimes you find, like, as people, we don't know how to communicate that. And to a parent's degree, they end up shouting kids for no reasons.
You see.
So I'm glad that you did it that way, because now when you do it like that, you sort of build a wall that this trauma doesn't
Overflow.
overflow
Yeah,
to
yeah.
to your kids as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it so much. Why did you choose to open your own thing instead of serving in the public institution or hospital or clinic or private?
Mhm.
Why did you choose to go by yourself?
I'm currently employed actually privately. For me, like I said, I'm a very ambitious person. I'm a very ambitious person. So sure, I want to build a legacy for my kids. And I understood that working for someone, someone can wake up and fire you tomorrow, you know? And fun enough, the recent event that I went to, they were just teaching us on how to start. Actually, you don't leave your actual employment to start a business. You start a business to leave your employer.
Okay,
That's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
yeah.
So most people like they just leave, like you resign, then you say, I'm going to start a business. Then you buy chairs, nice chairs, you do a nice office for yourself. Then now the reality hits. No one is coming. The next thing, you don't have a rent, you don't have, you understand? So for me, I always wanted, I know now I'm gonna be rich, ne? And I knew that even then, back then, in that child, knew that I knew I was gonna go to the varsity. How, I don't know. I remember they used to laugh at me like, "Hi, when are you at me? You understand?" I'm like, and funny enough, I thought varsity in the principal. So when I went to yours, I wanted the principal office. I went to a principal's office. So I didn't know anything. I just heard there's a varsity somewhere.
Have you found yourself traveling before out of your own place, maybe going to other places, visit like places like Durban, since you are from KZN?
No. I've never traveled. I never even traveled to Dundee, to think of it. It's like at that time I was just like in a rural area, in this small town in a rural area. But the teachers, they played a huge role in my life. Because they used to tell us the stories that we heard about varsity. We heard from our teachers that there's something called a varsity.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where you studied. If you want to be successful, you must go to varsity. I'm like, ngiyafuna mina ukuya kule varsity yakhona. We understand. And when I was doing my grade 12, we were so lucky to have Utishus Bisi. Utishus Bisi was a pastor, like Mfundis. So he used to force us to say, I'm going to pass and I'm going to do my university and I'm going to finish. Then we say it like, we are not sure. We are not sure, but we keep on saying it every day. He was our math teacher. So yeah, he played a huge role.
Yeah. He was instilling manifestations into your
Kakhulu.
minds. Your
What's the name of your school? Just to give you a shout out.
Oh, Ithando Kwakhe. My primary school, I did my primary school at Ithando Kwakhe. Isehlobane ne. It's a very small, nice school. Inkomo bezivele fasteleni masifunda. Because there was no windows, bruh. Like, then I went to Guabanya Secondary. I went to Guabanya Secondary School.
The sad part is that that's still a reality even now in some of these provinces of ours. Eastern Cape, KZN, Limpopo, in some part of Northwest.
Yo, Tina, we used to have potholes in our class.
Yeesh.
So today you see, like I always tell people and say, yo, Tembi, you are doing so well. Like, yeah, you guys, you are seeing this, but you don't know where I come from.
Where you come from.
Yeah.
Where I come from, abantu abafana nami abaveli khona.
Yeah. I like South Africans. We always find humor in everything. We are laughing about your story and you're also laughing about it. But
listening to the teaching say hi.
Yeah. Education played a huge role in your life.
It did. It did.
Yeah. So doing, I think one of the things maybe that helped you actually, your therapy started in class, ne? first year, second year, because I see in varsity while you are doing nursing, you
Mhm.
did psychiatry.
Yes.
So
That comes on your fourth year, unfortunately.
okay.
You get, and I pass it with a distinction because
Mm.
now I got to understand myself why I'm feeling this way.
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Your
Yeah.
psychiatry subject is a very, very interesting subject.
Mm.
Yeah, now I start to understand why am I like this, because like growing up, you are being seen like this difficult child sometimes, and yeah, uthanda ukuncengwa and
Mhm,
stuff.
mhm.
Yeah. So that's when I understood, okay, that's why I'm feeling like this. And this is the channels that I have to go through,
Oh,
therapy and whatnot, of which like most people they don't know about.
Yeah. And that's another thing. We all need a therapy.
Mm.
Well, even rich kids have their own struggles. Poor kids have their own struggles. People who are coming from resourceful places, and those who are coming from places where resources were scarce and all
Mm.
that. So it's said that our health facilities or healthcare centers, most people know that you only go to the hospital when you are physically sick, or you have scars and all those things. But psychology, even I remember in Eastern Cape,
Mm.
what's that hospital name? A psychiatric hospital. Twexendimangeni.
Mhm.
Even that name is, I think it's a derogatory name. Yeah. We and
Semhlanyeni.
yeah,
Mm.
Emahlanyeni and things
Eh.
like that. But when you come across study material of psychology, occupational therapy, and all those things, you realize, Uguti, no man, this actually should be part of syllabus nasesikolweni. Understanding human behavior, just basic things, and when to engage someone and when to let go of someone. Yeah. So how are you putting it back to your community or in your practice, when what you acquired in school and with your background?
With my background, I do a lot of like now with remember, if you are also working for someone, you are also limited with social media. So now that I have my own practice, I do a lot of like educational video. Like I think a week ago I did something about postpartum depression.
Yes.
Yes, I did a video about that because it's also one of the things that also, like, it's a trauma related. For me, it was a trauma related to have this postpartum depression. Now I don't have parents, I don't have anyone. Now I'm having the baby. Yes, I wanted the baby. Yes, I'm married, but then sure, a whole person. What do I do with this person now? And my husband, shame, he's a very hands-on person who come and help me, but then he still need to go back to work. Of which I'm so glad that our government revised the paternity leave, because it used to be 7 days, 5 to 7 days. Then your husband leaves you. You have this like a operation, a C-section. Now you have to go and nurse the baby, try to get yourself some food. So it's very difficult, and a lot of mothers are going through the postpartum depression and they don't even know it.
Ish.
Are we having
That's
enough
scary.
discussions around that, or are you having enough discussions around that as females? And are we having enough discussion around that as partners?
I don't think so. I personally, I don't think so, because like when I wanted to do that video, I just went to do my research. I saw that there's not so many videos about surrounding the topic of postpartum depression. Again, we see someone and then we say, oh, akamfuni umntwana, akafuni ukuncancisa. You understand? It's not like akafuni ukuncancisa. She's depressed.
Chemical reaction.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's depressed. I think 2 years ago we had that lady that put her baby in the freezer. Then they saw her improving somewhere.
Sure.
And they asked her, where's the baby? And the baby, by the time the baby was found, it was like frozen.
Sure.
We don't know what happened with that lady. I can only assume that she was depressed and she was alone. She stayed alone, apparently. It's difficult as it is having a very hands-on partner.
Yeah.
Imagine
When you have
yeah.
no one.
And your partner also has to understand the postpartum depression part of it, that your wife is going to be someone different. We understand. Outburst because of anger, you don't sleep. Remember, you are Namisa. Every 3 hours, you wake up, you have to breastfeed the baby. So you don't get time to sleep. And not sleeping, it causes burnout. Once you are burnout, you become frustrated. You understand? You are tetagi manja pendling. You understand?
Shouting at everyone.
Shouting at everyone.
Okay. So I see mostly women, when they find out they are pregnant, they go to gynecologist for those visits.
Yeah.
How frequent are they? Monthly, quarterly, trimester?
Now you caught me out. Sure. How many weeks you haven't done midwifery?
But
in a long time?
okay, my point is this. I think
Uh-huh.
gynecologists are pushing it too far. With my lack of knowledge, I think that's too much. Every month you're going for scans and whatnot, because I believe most those scans also have side effects, because sometimes they're using lasers that could also have negative impact on the unborn baby.
That is not true.
Oh, okay.
So it's necessary for healthcare workers to follow up the pregnant mothers every month, or every other week if you have a very complicated pregnancy. Yes, because now I'm gonna go back to the rural area again. I grew up in a place whereby women, they will have swollen feet, and it was normal that the woman will get a swollen feet. But that is a sign of a preeclampsia. Preeclampsia is a very deadly what can I call it? Condition in pregnancy. It's a hypertension that is combined with organ failure. So you would see someone we understand getting convulsions from that. But where I grew up now, it was normal to pregnant. But that is not normal. So we see a lot of mothers dying while they are pregnant, and we were wondering why.
But the signs were physically
visible. There, but people they didn't know about it. Like you not going to your gynecologist or your healthcare worker, your midwife, you might be having a breach. So ushinz umntwana uza ngenyawo, of which can be dangerous. The baby will be like tangling there, and the baby is inside. The head is inside. The baby dies. So with these follow-ups, they are able to determine, okay, your baby is not turning the head. So now we must schedule you for Caesar. So you're not gonna deliver normally.
Okay. So those sorry.
No, it's fine.
Those gynecologist visits are more frequent and prevalent. Don't you think they should be?
Is it because they are more expensive than going to a clinic to a nurse?
That's why I
Because
was
they charge
also
2.5 for it, right?
How
And
much?
the nurse 2.5, and the nurse is 500.
Nazi price.
Price. Expensive is relative, my brother. And again, no.
Okay,
Yeah,
I hear you.
and again, looking at that money and what you are bringing into this earth again, comparing the two. Yeah, but if she's getting a king or a queen, you can pay any amount.
Yeah.
But for
Just
me,
to
it's how
make
you,
sure.
for me, it's how you questioning this thing. It's like you are coming from an unadvantaged side
yes,
of
now
it.
you know what
Can you say something at least promising about not going there?
Yeah.
The reason I'm putting that narrative is that there's also this postnatal depression, but we hear nothing about it. So my point is that this one is more pushed out there.
I see.
The propaganda is huge on the visits. You see, you must check the babies. There's the stages of pregnancy. At this trimester, the head should be
the
facing.
mother.
You see,
because the mother can die.
Psychologically, I don't recall or hearing someone said, no, I had a session or a therapy session during this pregnancy, or you get my point.
Yeah.
So am I right saying that more needs to be done regarding psychology.
Yes, there's a huge need. What can I say? My English is not
Demand
English.
for-
Demand,
Mhm.
yes, on that, because I like I said before, we are also limited by our board. We must be careful of what we say on social media, because you can lose your job because of it. You understand? Yeah. So maybe other people, they are just so scared. Other nurses that are so scared to say anything to educate the society, of which I was one of them. You know, it takes a huge
Courage. Yeah.
to come here and talk about these things.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Do you have more questions on that?
No, you can carry on, but I sort of missed this point.